Yesterday, Durant posted a question on his YouTube account asking, narrative or skill, which one matters to you? Someone responded to Durant and said, LeBron is just better than you. It's just facts. Durant responded with a simple, nah. Shannon, what do you think about Durant's response?
I don't have a problem with it. And I believe in Kevin Durant's heart and in his mind, he believes that he's a better player than LeBron James. What social media has done, it has allowed people that would have never been able to come in contact with a celebrity or professional, whatever the case may be. It's allowed you to have interaction. And in the same token, it's allowed the players and the celebrities and entertainers to have contact.
It still astounds and confounds me that a player of Kevin Durant's magnitude and now achievement, Finals MVP, first ring, driving force of a team that lost to your team last year, that achievement and that magnitude would stoop to actually respond to some nobody whose username is Joe Deasy.
That was the conversation we had yesterday about Kevin Durant responding to a YouTube user. Well, yesterday, Durant responded to us. He posted on YouTube, hey, Skip, don't forget you're the voice of the people. Just because they disagree with you doesn't mean that you can cut them off completely. Look at your tweets, man. It's just sports talk. It's not life or death. Quote, you're taking the easy way out. That's why Shannon and I respond. It's fun. It's bleep talking. It's sports. We played, so I see why you wouldn't get that. On the other hand, you are right, though. I need to also respond to positive fans. Thank you, and keep repping, but sometimes you got to handle business. LOL. Shannon, what are your thoughts?
Katie, know your boy. You ever say, me and Shannon. Now what he said. Normally call me Shannon, but I told him to keep it professional. Hey, Katie, if you're watching, do me a favor. If you really want to get up under Skip's skin, at your boy and shoot me about 5 million of those followers. Hey, LeBron, you do the same thing. I love it.
You can have them.
No,
you can have
I want
5 billion followers.
KD, get at your boy at Shannon Sharp. Skip, what's wrong? I mean, people want to know what KD's thinking, and he's responding. I get it. But, and like I said yesterday, I am not going to let one or two trolls ruin their experience for 99% of the people that have good intentions, that really want to know what Shannon Sharp is thinking at that particular time. Now, there are some guys, women, or whatever the case may be, Skip, that they're sitting in their basement, they're on their computer, or they're in the car, wherever they may be, and they're trying to get you to say something that could put you in a situation where you lose your job, your career. People look at you in a different light. I never knew, because it happened to Amari Stoudemire. Remember, he responded with a slur. It ended up costing him, what, $50,000 or $100,000?
Yep.
I'm not going to go there. But, Skip, I refuse to let one or two ruin it for the good masses. I'm not going to do that. And because remember now, I ask people not to judge us by our worst common denominator. So why would I in turn do that? Because then I'll become very hypocritical to say, okay, well, all of you guys, so now I'm not responding to any of you guys because one bad person ruined it for everybody. No, I'm going to judge each person on his or her individual merits. I have no problem with Kevin Durant responding, but you need to at your boy, at Shannon Sharp, Katie. He on my side. He already said, I don't know what you can do to get it back on your side, but he on my side.
Okay. I'm going to go deeper here than your key. I do appreciate Kevin's very thoughtful response, because I've gotten some responses in the past from Kevin that were not so thoughtful or so nicey nice. But now I'm going to respond to Kevin by saying his point was, I don't understand because I didn't play the way Shannon obviously played pro football and Kevin plays at the highest level of professional basketball. Two dominant personalities and players. Mm-hmm. And if you want to enhance your brand, or because you're Shannon Sharp and you want to give the people back a little piece of you, I get that. But Kevin Durant has never played the game that you now are forced to play against me day after day after day on this show. And it's a very different game than Kevin has ever experienced on a basketball court, because it is hard. If I may say so myself, and I think after a year on this job, we're almost to our first year.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree and admit to the fact it's a battle, man.
It
It's
is
relentless.
because, Skip, the thing was, I was blessed with a lot of God-given ability. But the things that you have to research here, and you have to have your thoughts prepared, and then you have to have a retort or a response to what you're going to say. It's all encompassing. I mean, basically, my life is papers and internet and columns and reading, because we're going to talk about something, and I need to know exactly what I'm talking about, and I need to know exactly how and what I want to say.
How you feel.
Yes.
What is your opinion?
Yes.
Because I'm going to call you on your opinion.
Correct.
And I'm going to hold you to your opinion.
Correct.
Till death do you part from that opinion, which
Yes.
has happened a number of times on this show.
Maybe what I mean.
Maybe
Chiefs,
a couple times.
Steelers, maybe
So,
Seattle.
soon after Twitter started, I did exactly what you and Kevin do now. I responded. I read my ats, my mentions, my responses from people from all over the world. And I found I started taking them to heart. This is back in May of 2009 until probably about the spring of 2010. I did that. And I began to lose on the air because I did that. I started letting what one guy in Des Moines, Iowa said stick in my psyche and in my craw for the rest of the day and into the night. And occasionally I found myself doubting myself because of what that one guy said. You know, maybe he's right. Maybe I should back off a little bit here. Maybe I should give up on this opinion. Wrong. You cannot give up on what your instincts are telling you on this show.
Correct.
And it's not easy. And if you go to Twitter every day and open up your psyche, we're just human beings, and you get bombarded with people saying, wrong, 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 you are liable to buckle and fold the next day on air. And I'm not going to name any names, but trust me on this. I saw a number of careers at ESPN. I was there for 13 years. I saw a number of careers hampered. I might even go so far as to say, in my view, ruined by Twitter prisoners, because they let the naysayers create doubt in their mind, and they started to doubt themselves. And they lost their nerve on air. And then they lost their verve, their spirit on air. And they began to shrink on air and get wishy-washy on air. I'm talking about commentators, debaters, and also moderators who began to lose their conviction because, oh, what are they saying today? Maybe I don't look good today. Maybe my hair's not right. Maybe I should change my hair. Maybe I should be a little more between the lines. Maybe I should, until you become a bundle of doubting nerves about yourself. I've seen it happen. And I didn't want to fall prey to that and victim to that, because if you go back and try to fight Twitter, you're going to lose, because it's a never-ending, unwinnable battle. There are too many of them out there. So I understand what Kevin's saying. Don't cut yourself off from, but I need the courage. You laugh at my expression, but I need the courage of my convictions. So all I can give back is, when we go on the road, I will stay after a show for however many hours it takes to give a piece of myself to every person who sat there after the show.
You
And you can ask Ernestine to a fault. If we go out on Friday night or Saturday night, or we go to the mall for that matter, and people corral me and they want to talk about LeBron or Kevin Durant or whoever, I will stand there for 20 minutes doing a veritable talk show with people, because I care about them and how much they believe in our show and how faithful they are in viewing our show. And Ernestine will get so upset with me. This is my time. You can't do this to me. No, it's their time. Okay, so how does this work? You have to try to be a little ahead of the curve on who's going to win and who can play or who cannot play.
Right.
So I'm going to just throw a couple of quick examples at you, where if I let Twitter change my mind or give me my opinion, I would fail. Tim Tebow, I said before the draft, I trusted my instincts on this. I liked enough of what I saw, just of the competitor who was Tim Tebow. I thought he threw it well enough that I said before the draft simply this: I would take him at the bottom of the first round, and if you put him in his college offense, which is a lot to ask, he can win games in the National Football League. Period. End of story. No Pro Bowls. He can win games. I could have looked like an absolute fool and idiot on that until at 1-4 he got his chance. What if he'd fallen completely on his face? No, they won the first game in overtime at the Dolphins. And he was off to the races. And he didn't just do it for a couple of games. He took a 1-4 team to the division title and beat Ben Roethlisberger in a home playoff game. Well, that's all I said he could do. And if you kept giving him a chance, I believe he would have kept on keeping on. They led the NFL in rushing because they went to the spread option with Willis McGahee. You know what happened.
Yes.
Okay, but you have to do that. You have to commit to that. And then on LeBron, it was hard on me from the start, but I saw some flaws in LeBron that you don't want to acknowledge, but I saw them, and I stuck with them.
Yep.
Okay, I get that. But I hung in there with my flaws, and I got bombarded by friends of mine at ESPN. You got to back off. I can name 20 basketball analysts. You got to back off. You're wrong about this. And then that 2011 finals happened against Dallas, and the chosen one became the frozen one. And from that point on, we saw some of the flaws. He's obviously an all-time great player, but he has some flaws and frailties. And again, I hung in with my opinion, and I was right about that. And then on like a Dak Prescott, I told you, I'm going on my gut instinct. I've been doing this for a long time. I saw him in a preseason game, the first one, and I told you, I've never seen a rookie with that kind of poise and command as he had. And it began to manifest itself through the year. And I was sold after 2 games, he's going to be really good, top-level good. You hung in with Carson Wentz. I said, I don't love Carson Wentz. And over time, if I went on Twitter every day, I might have been unconvinced of my opinion.
You know why they can't get me off my opinion? Because I grew up in rural South Georgia in 1,000 square foot with cement floors and cinder block. And I had a tin roof that leaked. And I had naysayers say, Shannon, you're not leaving Glenville. And I had naysayers at Savannah State say, you're not going to Savannah State. And I was never going to be anything, Skip. You can't.
Okay, but you can't look to Twitter for your opinions.
I don't.
You can't. You can't. They will lead you astray. They'll lead you down the wrong path.
Skip.
You have to trust that voice inside you.
I validated my grandmother getting on a train and coming to get me from Chicago. I validated Glenville High School. I validated Savannah State. I validated the Baltimore Ravens and the Denver Broncos for believing in me. And some people believed in me no matter what. And I'm cool with it. Skip, I don't expect, nor do I want everyone on my side, because then I have nobody to compete against. So it doesn't bother me, Skip. You can't let someone, if I can't let someone's opinion of me change me.
Okay.
It's not what they see, it's what do I see.
But it creeps into your psyche, and you start to let them define you. And nobody can define Shannon Sharp except Shannon Sharp.
And that's what, Skip, think about it. I'm from rural South Georgia with a heavy Southern, that colloquial dialect. If I let people, I can't understand you. You're a mush mouth from the Fat Albert. All that being said, Skip, guess what? I got a degree. I'm well off. I'm on a national show sitting across from one Skip Bayless. That doesn't bother me, Skip. I'm still me.
You have to trust. You have high IQ. You were blessed.
Yes.
You had not good. You had great upbringing. I did not have. So I envy what you had with your grandfather and grandmother, whom you quote regularly on the show. Yes. And they are incredibly wise. And they taught you correctly in ways I was out to see. I was the oldest with 2 wrecks for parents. So I give you that. And you should trust that and hang on to it.
Yes.
But I was taught early on, I had to listen to myself because I got to survive. And so trust what I would call my God voice. Yes. You know, whatever that little thing is, whatever you want to call that thing in the back of your psyche, listen to it and hang on to it and don't give up on it when Lonzo Ball plays one bad summer league game to start off with. Don't back off. Hang tough. If you believe Lonzo's going to be transcendent, as I do, special, hang in, and then we started to see him turn around and start to look like Lonzo Ball that I thought he was going to be. Last thought, Kevin Durant. I got to go back 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Because I was the biggest Kevin Durant fan. I predicted when he was at the University of Texas for his single year, he would win multiple scoring titles in the NBA because I'd never seen anything quite like nearly 7 feet with what wingspan, like 7'5".
7.5,
Yeah. And the skill to shoot threes, I've never seen anything like it. I got ridiculed on air for that opinion. How could you? And then they lost in the NCAA's, pretty early to USC. It was the second-round game. Yeah, he's really great, isn't he? Well, he's going to be. And right away, as Russell got drafted and came along, Russell started taking a lot of Kevin's shots. And I started to say on the old show, this is out of bounds. Kevin, you got to stand up and say something. And Kevin blasted me publicly and said, quote unquote, he doesn't know basketball. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Again, trying to defend his little brother, Russell Westbrook. Then what happened?
He left.
He left. Okay. So I had to hang with my instincts on this because I always defended Kevin. I didn't like it that he blasted me, and I didn't like it at all that he said I don't know anything about basketball because I do know a little something about basketball.
It don't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. Guys can call me out. Well, you don't know, you didn't play position. And you get that a lot, Skip, especially even in football, because they feel if you don't play the quarterback, you can talk about any other position, but you can't talk about the quarterback position unless you played it or you coached it.
That is true.
That's hogwash. Y'all don't tell me what to say. I don't care who it is. Yeah, exactly. So, Skip, they don't worry me. I got turtle skin. This thing, I'm tough.
Good. Quit reading.
What?
No, I can't. I hit somebody.
How'd we do?
What are they saying on Twitter right now?
Yeah.
We won't get into what's on my mentions, but I think that it'll get crazy around here. I think that maybe what Kevin is dealing with is, I'm sure he's been critiqued his entire career, and I'm sure people have been coming at him on social media since he's had it. But this particular change going over to the Warriors has been an uptick in critiques and all of that.
At your boy, Shannon Sharp. Give me about 5 million Twitter followers. Hey, Skip
Maybe you
will
can give
not
him
bother
some
you
advice
again.
on his Instagram since he posts the same 3 pictures every day.
Who?
You.
What I post? What I?
Food, shoes, suit.
What about the dogs?
And the dogs. The dogs are cute, though. You should put more of the dogs up.
Post pictures?
Yeah.
I'll show you in the break. Next up, the
I'm an
Cowboys
Insta
and
star.
Giants.